Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're doing something a little different. So we're gonna create a character from scratch and we're gonna go through the initial tutorial, so you guys can understand a bit more about the base. I'm gonna be going through um, how the mechanics of the game work. This is mostly aimed for beginner players that either never played Medivia before but came from Tibia or never even played Tibia before. So this tutorial is for you. I'm gonna try to be brief. The tutorial is quite short, however quite enjoyable as well. I'm gonna be going through some client configuration things to help out. So the first thing you gotta do before creating your accounts is, that's a suggestion that I make to you guys. You can use your friend's referral link, or if you don't know any friends yet on Medivia, you can use, for example, my link or any other players on the Discord link, because if you do so, whenever you activate your first premium account in the game, you and the person that you use the referral link get 7 days premium accounts. So with that, it's basically a free extra 7 days for you and the person as well. As you can see here, I already had 2 referrals, so thanks for those who use my link. So we're gonna go ahead and create a new character. I'm gonna be doing on Liberty. I also want to show some PvP mechanics. So Liberty is located in Canada. Here, if you select, it's gonna tell you a little bit more about each server. For example, Eternum is USA West Coast based, and it has the following features, and you can keep checking here exactly what you're looking for. If you're looking for a high rate, a low rate, whichever you're looking for, I'm sure you're going to be able to find, because Medivia has a high diversity. The 2 most populated ones at the moment is Liberty, Legacy, followed by, then it's kind of a mix like Serenity, Pendulum, and Eternum. If I'm not mistaken, those are the subsequent ones. But whatever you choose, feel free to choose based on your likings. Here I'm gonna go with Liberty, and I'm gonna call this, how can I call this? Let's go with Iron Chief, because this is gonna be mostly an Iron Man character, and I think I'm gonna be doing a Paladin, or maybe a Mage. I think a Paladin is a little bit more fun for Iron Mans in the beginning. And we're gonna be doing this female. So let's see how that goes. So let's go next. And now you can learn a bit more about each of those vocations that Medivia has. Those 4 of them: Knight, Archer, Druid, or Mage. Or you can have no vocation as well, and you're gonna be staying in Novus, which is basically the root guard of Tibia. But a very few people play there, so I would advise against that. However, if you're really looking forward, then go ahead. You can also click learn more. Here's a little tooltip about each of the classes. I'm gonna go with Archer, and also you can see a couple of the spells and how the vocation works. You can take a look and see what actually you prefer, but I'm gonna go with Archer, and then back, and then Archer. Perfect. And then if you haven't played Medivia before, I do recommend you starting the tutorial. That's what I'm gonna do anyway, and so let's move along. Perfect. So my ping in Liberty is actually quite low. I was expecting it to be a bit higher, so 57, 60, so let's do that. And the reason why it's not showing here the character, it's because only show the top 3 levels. So Mayfeld, my level 311 is the first, then second place is Chief 246, and then Ayesa, my Maker Druid 78, all in Legacy. Oh, actually Chief is in Serenity, so never mind. So here we go, you just double click, and here's the initial screen of Medivia, how it looks. Of course, this is slightly awkward, so I'm gonna try to make this a little bigger. Let me give you a couple of tips and we can walk on the panel together. So first thing you gotta do is go to your options and check how many panels you would like. Here, because of my resolution, the game is looking quite small because I have a lot of panels. So I'm gonna be reducing a couple of them. This is normally how I play the game anyway, but my screen, I made it a little smaller to fit everyone's 1920 1080p resolution. because that's what most people play nowadays anyway. So I'm gonna try to mimic that behavior. So let's remove the near left panel to give us a little bit more screen area, and also the near right. Yeah, perfect. Now we have a way bigger area in the game, and we can work with our panels right here. Let's also see what we can do. So I'm gonna close my VIP list. I'm gonna leave my gold pouch. The gold pouch, by the way, if you came, oh, that's pretty cool. I can see all my resistances and everything if I took that, but that's not needed at the moment. Just here should be more than enough. So over here on the top right, you can open or close any of your modules on the client. So here, for example, if you have VIP lists, you can add your friends, you can create groups by right-clicking, editing group, or by adding a new group or adding a new person to the VIP. I don't know anyone in the server, so I'm gonna keep it closed. Then we have our battle list. That's where we're gonna be selecting the monsters and everything. Then we have the minimap. I'm gonna leave the minimap right here. If you have a bigger monitor, I do recommend you playing around. I like playing with all the panels open, and I tweak them in according to what I believe it looks best. But here we're gonna go with this configuration anyhow. As I was saying, the gold pouch, I have 5 days left on mine. It's shared throughout the whole account. Since I have this on my main character, it carries across. Basically, whenever you right click a gold coin in the monster or on the floor, anywhere really, you're gonna be seeing this gold pouch add some money. So it's basically your bank is a mobile bank. It doesn't have any weight because it goes straight to your bank account. So moving on here, I covered the skills. Here shows your experience, your level, all of your special characteristics. We start with distance 30, which is actually pretty good. And here are resistances, since our equipment doesn't have anything. We currently don't have anything. VIP I covered, minimap, gold pouch, perfect. And health information is just this. You can actually configure your health bar according to your needs. So I think this is done here in the game. You can basically select, let me put some, let's go to the sound, mute a little bit of the UI. I think this noise is going to start annoying some people. Yeah, this is a little lower. I'm going to put some music. I can tweak it down a little bit. Perfect. And then the ambient. And then the effects is all the way to the max. And so is the master volume. Perfect. So to walk around in Medivia, you can use your arrow keys. Up, right, down, left, or you can use your WASD as well if this little toggle here is enabled. Now when you hit enter, you can type in with WASD. However, whenever you send that message, this is not going to be a text area anymore, so that means you can walk around with WASD. I love walking with the WASD. That means that I can use F1, F2, F4. It's way quicker for me, so that's what I prefer. So this is how you walk on Medivia. If you click on E, C, Z, or Q, you are going to be walking diagonally. Now you may notice that this is a little slower because it's something that actually exclusive to Medivia. Medivia made the animation slower because if you're coming from normal Tibia, you actually have a delay after you finish the movements. From then you can start walking forward again. However, here in Medivia they removed that delay, but they made the whole animation slower to account for that delay anyhow. So it's basically the same. When you start a new character, you get an hour of food, and you can see on top left here how much food you have left. For mana regenerating and health regeneration, it is very important that you keep an eye on your food levels, and if you're hungry, your character is going to start making a sound that you're hungry, so you better eat something to recuperate some mana and HP. So let's go now. I see my mana is full. We need to start working on this magic level straight away. So let's go to our spell book over here and let's see how many spells we have. You can click here to hide the spells that you don't have at the moment, so you only focus on those you do. So I have Incuro, Now let me also open my hotkeys. You can open both. So let me add my Incuro to my F1, and I'm gonna send it automatically. That means that whenever I click this, it's not only gonna type, but it's also gonna send. And I'm also gonna create some ammunitions with F12. Perfect. And I also want some lighting done to my F3. And this is my training web. So I think that's it for now. Let's see how we go with this. Actually, let me make this on F5 because that's how I have in my other characters. Perfect. So this was my hotkeys done. Whenever you click OK and you click now F1, perfect. You use the spell. You can check here on the spell book. For example, this spell that I just used consumes 25 mana, requires magic level 0 to use it, and it heals the caster from 4 to 9 and also removes paralyze. Now the other spells that I have is Uncreolux, which illuminates a small area from 6 minutes and 10 seconds, and it costs 20 mana. So here you can see what's the required magic level as well as the cost. Those spells that I don't know, I would need to actually buy them. So you can click here on Find Teachers and see later on which teachers actually sell those, and you can actually find accordingly. Okay, so the first thing it shows here is a tooltip. So to open, Medivia is an object-based game. So for example, I see here an actual pothole, but it's closed, a pile of stones, let's say. So I can right-click on my backpack. Perfect. When I right-click on my backpack, I see this shovel. So it's kind of like real life. It's RPG based. So to open a pile of rocks, so you can go down the hole, you need to use a shovel. So to do that, you right-click on the shovel and you left-click on the pile of stones. That made a little sound. It opened, so you can now go down. Perfect. By the way, not sure if you noticed, but every time I use my mana, this magic skill goes up a little bit. This is basically your magic level. The more magic you use, the more magic level you get, so the stronger are your spells mostly. Okay, so let's continue walking around through the tutorial and see what happens. So now what we got is a rope. Same thing but opposite concepts. Whenever you see this rope spot area, basically a little different than the rest of the terrain, you can right click on the rope and go up a level. Medivia is a level based game, so as you can see here, you can tweak that around on your minimap. If you click Ctrl Shift M, you can open the whole map. So if we zoom in where we are here, this is where we were. We went down a level, and now we went up a level, and this is our player marker here. So Medivia is a level-based game, so it's a 2D game, and imagine that you have layers on the map, so you can manipulate those layers. Now you see this small hole here. This is not, I cannot go back now anymore because this hole is different than the other hole. I cannot access this, so that means that after I came through this is a tutorial area, so you won't get stuck, but basically it just to show you that there are different types of holes and different type of interactions in the game. Whenever you right click, you see the little cursor, so you right click. Right click is basically your interaction in Medivia. So let's right click here, see what happens. So I just got 10 spears. That basically means that I got a couple of spears to attack monsters in the game. So let's do that. So to equip something, I can left click and drag it to my right hand or even to my left hand. Let's do to the left hand, and you keep your shield on the right hand. That's a matter of preference. However, I normally keep everything on my right hand, and then on my left hand I have my shield. You also have stances, so basically you can read here on the compendium, you can read here, for example, distance fighting. Because you're a paladin, you're an archer, you're going to be having distance fighting. You can see that each different stance that you have in the game, it's going to have a different multiplier to your attack max and minimum value. So take that into consideration. Oh, actually just the max value. So take that into consideration. Basically means that if you're fighting offensively, you're gonna do more damage, but you're gonna take more damage. If you're balanced, then of course balance, and if you're defensive, you're gonna do minimal damage while tanking more damage. So depending on the situation you are, I recommend you tweaking around those. Perfect, so we got our weapon, and I'm sure now we're gonna have a monster to play with. So this is a skeleton. You can left click and right click together, or shift left click to see the status of the monster. So this is a skeleton, it's an undead skeleton. Actually everything you're seeing here, you can left click and shift, and it's gonna tell you what it is. It used to be like you see a blue crystal just like Tibia, and it would show like a text message here. However, Medivia changed this to the bottom right. So here, for example, stalagmites, a chest with a 15 volume, that means 15 slots. Those are slots, by the way. Here, you see my backpack. I have 3 out of 15 filled up. So basically that's it. So going back to the skeleton. So you can look at that skeleton, and you see that it has 18 to 50. Now to attack that skeleton, you would just right click. However, this is a great opportunity for me to tell you about our options on the hotkeys. So to target next monster, you can actually use space. This is something that Medivia recently introduced. So instead of right clicking a monster, you are going to be targeting the next monster on your combat list. And if you hit space, it's going to do just that. So you have those two options. So let's do space. So as you see, my spear went to the monster, and the monster started to attack me. Actually, this is quite unique to this tutorial, because normally the monsters, if they're aggressive, they will always attack you nevertheless. And so yeah, this is just because I started attacking. Now to loot a monster, you right click on the monster, and you see this 10 golds. You can either drag to your backpack if you don't have the gold pouch, as I do. But since I have the gold pouch, I can just right click it, and then I've deposited 10 gold to my gold pouch. I can withdraw it at any time by clicking withdraw, and then, oh actually, perfect. And then now I withdraw everything, and it's unlimited how many times I can do this. It's basically infinite as long as you have the gold pouch active. You also got a bone here. You can either drag to your BP or not. I will not choose to drag because it's worthless. So I know that because I'm experienced, but if you don't know anything, just grab everything you see in front of you. Should be fine. Perfect. So the tutorial is basically done. Now we're going to start interacting with NPCs, because they're going to be giving us some quests. So to interact, you hit enter. So your text box open down here below, and you either say hello or hi or mission to the NPC. So this is the NPC Asia. So we can say hello, and it opens automatically the NPC chat, and then she starts talking to you. She's gonna give you a mission that we can visit the depot, so we can talk to the guy on the depot. So he's gonna be also giving us a mission. But while she goes here and shares a bit more about the lore, I'm going to be explaining a little bit more about the game. So I show you the compendium before. You can go through it. I have another video I'm going to be linking here in this video that you can actually check all the different systems in the game, as well as some lore. So feel free to do that in your spare time, because the more you get to know about the game, the more enjoyable your experience will be. Because it's not a game that will give you the whole information straight away. There's also some sense of discovery that you should also be interested in the game to learn and to actually improve on it. It's not a game that is going to digest everything for you, chew it off, and then give it to you so you can swallow. It's actually going to be way different. It's a bit more old experience, that it doesn't hold your hand too much like a hardcore RPG. Okay, so she told us to visit the local postman. As you can see here, Medivia recently introduced, oh, you see the sound of the waterfall, and it's fun that it's spatial sound as well. Now it's on my right ear, now it's on my left ear. Hopefully you guys can see that on the video as well. So I'm gonna walk outside of the temple. One thing that is important, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, is I had food, but my mana was not regenerating inside a security area, protection zone per se. So whenever you're within a protection zone, you do not recuperate HP or mana, and that's to avoid exploits of people train magic level at homes. So Medivia wants you to be outside, to explore, and to take some risks as well to reap some rewards. The case here being that if you're in a protection zone, you're not going to recuperate mana or HP, but if you're outside, you'll see my mana and HP growing here, 19 just now. That means that you are recuperating mana and HP. So let's proceed along. We're going to be walking through. You can follow this arrow to the left. It's just 30 meters from us. In Medivia, each square is a meter, so 1 square, 1 square. This is all meters. Normally people say SQM, square meter, instead of actual meter, but this is the measurement that they actually are using here. So what we're gonna do here to this guy, we're gonna say hi. Hello. Perfect. So now that we say hello, he's gonna talk a bit more, and we can actually use this opportunity to talk a bit more about some of the other buttons here. On the top left here, you can see your store. If you have Medivia coins, you can actually use on several items. You can buy rooms, you can buy Home Depots, some quality of life items, some decorations and such. I'm not going to go deep dive into this. However, it's more to facilitate and speed up your gameplay. There are premium as well. Medivia is a premium based game, just like Tibia is and used to be, but still is. Both of them. However, the premium here in Medivia is way cheaper. I think it starts from €5 for 30 days. So it's affordable for most people. However, I see and I know a lot of people that farm that in the game. So it's possible, and I normally do that as well myself. It's quite rare that I actually cash in much. I just normally buy things with the money I farm in game. However, if you want to skip some time, if you want to have more convenience, if you want to save some time from your real life to actually reap more benefits in game, then it has some pay to skip items here in the store that you are going to be familiar with. But each item that you click, it's going to actually give you a brief description on what it is about and how much it costs and would you like to purchase and everything. Basically you can click and it's going to tell you a bit more, and if you click purchase, it's going to ask you to confirm. Here I don't have any Medivia coins, so it's going to say you don't have any coins to purchase this item, so it's not going to work. Okay, so let's go to our next mission. So he told us to move to the archer place, so let's move there. I already know my map is marked, and I'm going to be linking a way of actually uncovering the map, as well as having the map markings that I have here in the video, so you guys can go ahead and do that as well. Alright, so now I mentioned the hotkeys, I mentioned, quest log. So every quest that you have is going to be showing here the steps on the quest log, so this is good that you can actually follow your track. There's no way to track your missions. It's a little different than any other RPG that has that track button. So there's no tracking. You're gonna have to track that by yourself. So let's say hello to Frank. So this is the Archer skilled NPC. He's gonna be talking to me a little bit about the basics and how to become a better archer. Gonna be teaching me a couple of spells. Okay, let me click here so it goes away, and I showed you guys a spell book. Dungeon Finder, when we're level 50, is going to unlock our first dungeon, so let's not go there yet. And then there's the task menu. So in Medivia there are different types of tasks. So you have experience tasks, item tasks, money tasks, and you can also filter here through factions. Huntsman Guild is basically the task NPC that's going to be giving you everything that is not an actual faction in the game, and I'm going to be linking a video here about all the sub-factions, and you can check the ones that are active, that are available, or that you completed. Here you can click in any of them. For example, let's say that I want to hunt bats. Because I'm premium, I can take the money tasks. If I wasn't premium, I wouldn't be able to. So if you don't have a premium account, you can only do EXP tasks as far as I know. However, money tasks and item tasks are available for premium characters as well. Now, if you want to do bats, it shows you 4 locations that has the most amount of bats in the game, and you can check them in the map. Here is one in Thoris. You can check another one, the Iraq sewers. You can check how far away they are, and you can accept the task and start killing them. They're also going to be adding a task progress module. It's going to be another one of those buttons here on the top right that's going to be showing you here, kind of like a bestiary completion in Medivia. It's going to be in Tibia. It's going to be showing you the task progress, so it's going to be a little bit easier to track that. So he's telling me, this guy, to go. We can check the quest log to see exactly. So enter the sewers and slay a few rats and bring your mental 3 rat tails. So let's do just that. So there should be a sewer somewhere here. Again, as I told you, some objects are interactive. So you can right click on the sewer and you're going to go a level down. So here's things are a little dark, and this is where it comes another layer of how fun Medivia is. There's no option like Tibia to actually maximize brightness or light so you can see everything in the game properly. Over here you can see a little bit of the sunlight from upstairs, which is fun. However, you see that you have a torch here. You can right click it and it's going to illuminate across you. You can right click it again, it's going to turn off. The torch lasts about 30 minutes if I'm not mistaken. So be mindful of your torch use. You also have your spell that I talked to you about, which is called Magic Lights. You can just F5 it, and basically it's going to simulate a torch the last 12 minutes, and it's going to have the same effect, and you waste your mana as well, so that's pretty good. So let's kill those rats. Oh, great. So just saying that creatures, when they're dead, you can open their corpses and drag the loot to your backpack. Your backpack is basically your main container. You can have backpacks inside of backpacks inside of backpacks, but basically your backpack that you carry here is going to be your main container, and you can have as many backpacks or bags within it. So I kill this rat, I can open it, I can right click the goats, I can drag the cheese and drag the rat tail, which is the object I'm after here. You will also see that I'm damaging the monsters. Let's go. I need to grab my spear, by the way, which is a mechanic that old Tibia had and Medivia still has nowadays. Now let's see if you guys see this. So if the rat is glowing, that means that it has loot within its corpse. So let me show you to you guys again. You see here, no glow, but now that I killed this rat, now it's glowing. That means that no one has ever opened this, means that it has loot. So whenever I open, I drag, so it says your task is completed, go and return to your mentor. So let's do just that. Now that I grab 3 of them, and I will drag the leftover spear to my bag, and I'll say hello. He probably is very happy with our progress. It's gonna say perfect. Now, where's the music, by the way? Ashen has some music, but I think it's too low. Yeah, might be a little too low. Let me don't hear the music, but anyway, might be a problem in my ends here, because I know Ashen has for a fact music. Oh wow, it was a very loud noise. What happened there? This noise happens whenever you have a level up, so that happens in the game. So now I'm level 9. As I'm an archer, I got more health, 15, I got more mana, I think it's also 15 if I'm not mistaken, and I got some capacity as well. So each vocation has different types of progress conditions, like I told you so, and if you'd like to know more, you can go to the wiki. Now he's telling me that I should learn some spells. To learn spells, you right click on the NPC that teaches the spells, that has this little book within it, the spell book, and then you can right click it and say, I want to learn new spells. Perfect. So I can teach you, let's see, to learn spells, ask me for spells, or use your right mouse button on me, and he wants us to learn Great Light spell. So you can use the little search here, Great Lights, and let's click on learn. It costs 200 gold. We currently have 414. Let's do learn. Yes. So 200 gold was withdrew from my bank, my pouch, my bank, and I learned the spell. So let's go to the spell book, and I'm actually gonna. Oh, let's confirm if we learned. So great light is here perfectly. It's not unknown. So let's go to the hotkeys, and I'm gonna replace my old lights with my great lights. The difference between them is that this lasts longer, however it consumes more mana as well. I'm gonna show you guys in practice what it does right down here before I talk to the NPC. Or actually, yeah, let's do that. Don't care if it takes a little longer. So you see how this is illuminating some area. Now if we F5 with my new spell, it illuminates way more. So this is perfect. Okay, so, oh, did you guys see what I did there? I tried to right click on the stairs to go open, but there was a rat underneath it. You can bypass this by clicking right at the extremity of the SQM. Oh shit, didn't work here. Let's do it again. Let's see if I can do this to make it work. So if I right click on the extremity, what? This should work. It doesn't work with objects like this. I think it only works with corpses. Huh, interesting. Let me tell you what it means when it works with corpses. So for example, I want to open this rat, but this other rat is on top of it. If I right click, well, never mind. I guess I'm not doing it properly. Meanwhile, I'm gonna loot all the goats. Well, it's a live practice session, but I'm sure that works. Yeah. Well, now I'm curious. Let's keep trying, because now I want to show you guys that you can actually right-click something that is behind. Let me take this off so I don't kill the monster straight away. So, okay, my fist is always also very strong. Note to self: use fists on rat. Huh. Okay. So I used to be able, and I can control click and say use instead of attack, but I used to be able to just click it. I don't know what happened there. You see, it works sometimes. Maybe it needs to be right at the extremity. You know, one thing that might be as well is I'm playing on a smaller resolution. You see, it works. It needs to be right at the edge of it. That's the thing about it. So it cannot be close enough that you would actually hit the mob. So maybe when I'm at higher resolution it works easier, because I'm not used to playing on this resolution. But you see, there was a workaround as well. If you play in this resolution and it's not that easy for you, you can, instead of right clicking it, you can control click, and instead of using attack you can do use, and it's going to use whatever objects here that's usable, and then you're going to go up as well. So living and learning here. Perfect. Let me just try once more. Let's see if I can go right at the edge of it. Perfect. You saw that worked? I'm not going crazy then. And here. Nope. Here. Here. Yes, perfect. So hit or miss. Might be the resolution thing. It works way better when I don't have that small resolution. So let's do hello. And I'm gonna say, he wants to know that, tell me when you're ready. So mission. He's saying that to use a spell you need to assign to the hotkeys. We already done that, so that's great. So let's, oh, meanwhile, while he goes on and on about it, let me tell you one thing about hotkey servers. So items and rooms you can use on hotkeys, and it's way different than anything else. So for example, let's say that I have this ammunition here in my bag and it's not on my hand. So I can select this object and I say equip this item. So whenever I hit F6, it goes straight to my hands. If I hit F6 again, oh, there's no unequip, so it stays here. So F6, F6, F6. If you had another item, let's say for example I want to, let me show me your wares. Let me buy a wooden spear. Perfect. So now I have this wooden spear on the F7 and I'm gonna equip. So I can be F6, F7, F6, F7, F6, F7, so I can equip different items. This is not possible on non-hotkey servers. I would have to drag it and drop it, drag it and drop it, drag it and drop it. Same with runes. And we're gonna buy a couple of runes later so I can tell you guys about runes. Okay, so now that we did our mission, I can just use my spell, I believe. So let's do the... And he's saying perfect, you now know how to use spells. So let's go to your next mission. So we can say mission. And he's gonna say that we need a pick and that we need to buy a pick for that purpose. So let me drop those red tails. So anything that you have is an item-based game, so you can just drag it and drop it anywhere. It gotta be somewhere that you can see it. Do you see? Okay, let's do this. So you see, I can drop it here, I can drag it, and I can drop it here. I can move it across the map but for example, I cannot drop it within here. Reason being, there are walls that block my path of view or my path of action. So imagine like you're actually throwing something at a terrain. If there are walls, you cannot throw past it. You cannot even throw at the wall. So you can throw, for example here, I can throw it behind the balcony, but now since it's behind the balcony, I cannot access anymore. So that's interesting. Anyway, so he's telling us to acquire a pick, so let's do just that. Let me put that money on my pouch. And let's just go ahead and do that. Since I got a new spell, it's flagging here, so doesn't matter. So to buy from an NPC, you can just say the famous hi, trades, sorry, or you can right click it. In Medivia, it allows you to right click it. So let's right click it. And let me buy a pick. Perfect, I bought a pick. Now we can go back and speak back to my guy. Let me put it here on the map. Also, let me clear the object and let me select the torch and let me do use item because instead of equipping, I can also use it. The right click to tag to fire or not the torch is right click. So let's say here, for example, now when I F7, I'm using my torch. If I F7 again, interesting, it doesn't turn off the torch, but it should have, shouldn't it? Anyway, but at least you can use, but somehow this might be a bug that is not actually removing the torch status. But since it's an item, since you're using and unusing, it should actually work. Anyway. Okay, so let me tell you when you're ready for next mission. So let's say hello and mission. So he's saying that pick is a great equipment and it's gonna help us now because we're gonna need to not only dig a hole, but we actually need to uncover a hole that is hidden away. Medivia is full of secrets, quests, and stuff, things that people normally don't know about, things that are normally not yet discovered. So that's why it's fun about this game. It's RPG, has a lot of quests, so anywhere you turn there might be something there for you that you haven't uncovered. I know there's a story about this closet. Let's see if we can make it work. I'm not sure if this low level would work, but I know there's something behind it, and I just recently, after playing for 3 years, I actually found that out. So I'm about to show you guys. So he's saying that we should go find a hole, grab a key, open the door, and then kill the albino rat. But before we do so, let me show you guys about this. So this is something that's very fun about Medivia. You see, Frank here seems to be a very uninteresting guy. He just seems to be a store here, nothing crazy going on. However, if I right click on this wardrobe, it's actually a secret passageway. So this is just to tease you guys some cool quests that are normally hidden at plain sight, but like it requires you some digging or some uncovering to actually progress with it, which is amazing. Okay, so now let's find that albino rat and kill it. That should end our tutorial and we should be ready to stop this video and conclude this initial series about starting on Medivia. I think I covered most of the basics. There are a lot of options that I recommend you going on the console here to make your game easier for you. There are also a lot of preferences. For example, let's assume you prefer the bars to be closer together next to your character. So you can see here, for example, it can be closer together and they are gonna be next to your character. Yeah, like this. And then they're gonna be way bigger. So it's all very customizable. You know, depending on how you want to play, you're gonna play. Let's make the health one small and the mana the biggest one ever. And then the mana one really close and the distance of this one far away, in the middle ground, let's say. So look at this. Now this is very weird, but you can make it. The game allows you to, and that's what's cool about it. Anyway, so now that my mana is full, let me take this off the screen. Oh, there are a lot of shortcuts, by the way. You can figure it out later on. But Control M is one that automatically changes the position of your bars. So let's go and find that albino rat. So a lot of rats on the way, but they're not challenging. They recently redone this to make it a little easier. Now it's going to tell us that some objects are interactable. So for example, those stones, if I right click on this lever, they go away. Perfect. So they went back in. To get out, just right click and then we're done. So it's also telling that there's a secret behind this that requires our pick. If I use my shovel, it's not gonna work. Some accesses require this specific tool. What's here? Hopefully a rope, because other. Okay, there's a silver key. I already had a rope, so we learn this, we go back on a rope. Perfect. And then now it's saying open this door. Let's open this door. It's actually telling you we need to unlock the door, but let's see what happens actually if we don't unlock the door. Perfect. Let me just kill those rats and use some spells. So I burn my mana. Perfect. Okay, so let me click. Oh, it's locked. So what I need to do, I right click on the key and I click on the door. Perfect. So let's kill our man albino. I'm gonna target with the space and I'm gonna be walking around, just chilling. Oh, actually I need to grab my spears. This is something interesting about early game with paladin. People don't use spears much. They actually make their own arrows. The arrows, whenever you shoot them, they're gone. However, they are way more quality of life and do more damage depending on the bow you have and your skill level as well. Also, another thing about paladin, the farther away you are, the more chance you have to hit the monster. So those mechanics you gotta learn within time on the game. Just do some research. The wiki, the Discord, the official server tells you a lot about this. And any question, feel free to ask any of the players as well on the Medivia website. Oh, on the Medivia Discord. Okay, so we killed the albino rats. Didn't drop anything, I think. Did I even loot it? I don't care. So let's continue moving. Let's see if I can do my... Oh, there's a cave rat. It's a bit more challenging. Not much. I think I do more damage if I just punch them. Let's see. Because now that melee is about... Fizz has 6 base attack. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you guys about this. And I will now. So, if you look into your equipment, you have armor for your helmet, armor, legs, and boots. They can have some attributes as well, but those ones are beginner items, so they don't. So you have your armor, and your shield will have defense attributes. Each of them work differently, so I recommend you guys trying it out exactly and checking the formulas here on the compendium about armor, how the formula works, as well as defense blocking. It's also the defense. Okay, I'm gonna buy a couple of runes just to show you guys how they work. So this is an AoE rune, this is a healing rune, I hope I have enough money, and this is a single target rune. Perfect. So let's go. I'm not gonna use hotkeys here because the concept is pretty straightforward. This is an AoE. Oh, actually, let's start with the single target rune. If I do this rune anywhere, I cannot do it because this rune requires an actual target. So let's go to the rats and target the rat. You can target through here or through here. So let's do through here. You see, I damaged the rat. This rune has 10 charges, and it's going to deal damage from 3 to 6. Oh, actually, let me get out of here because there's no roll spots. Perfect. Oh, those rats. They do drive one mad. Let's kill it with the runes as well. Perfect. Okay, so also, whenever you advance in your skills, for example here I just advanced in blocking, the same sound happens, and every time you hit a monster with the weapon of your choice, regardless if you're a paladin or if you're a knight and you hit the monster with a spear, you're gonna be leveling distance, and if you hit the monster with any other thing like a mace or a axe or anything else, you're gonna be leveling the melee skill. However, of course, knights have more proficiency with melee, they're gonna level up faster, and paladins level up more faster with distance, and mages and druids level up magic way faster, and the rest way slower, because really it's not part of the gameplay to be using that. Okay, let me tell you guys how to use the healing spell. So this spell for damage is an offensive rune required a target. It can even do it myself, but I cannot do damage to myself, so it's not going to do anything, just show the animation and waste the rune. However, there's healing runes, and I can just right click on it. It shows here that's going to heal 21 to 30. By the way, when you just left click and right click on it, it's going to show you this menu, but if you shift it, it's going to show you more information. So that's something interesting as well, so you guys can see that. So when you right click on that spell, on the rune, it's a healing rune, it's called Intense Healing Rune. You can just right click it, click on you, it's going to do an animation, the rune's going to disappear because it only had 1 charge, and it's going to heal you. I was already at full HP, so it didn't heal me. That makes sense anyway. So let me show you guys now this AoE rune. Gotta be very careful with AoE runes because you can just click on the floor and it's gonna trigger. The thing about AoE runes is that if there's a player here, I would have gotten PK, which is basically a skull next to my name, and that means that they can kill me without any repercussions. Now, if I don't have any skulls to me, and then they kill me out of nowhere because I provoked them, they will have the skull, and that means that there are some penalties and everything, just to, you know, protect some new players and to make the PvP system a bit more fair. Alright, so now that I've done, I can just say hello and mission, and he's saying there must be quite a challenge, he's gonna give me some money, and he's gonna be sending me on my way. So basically this is all about the tutorial in Medivia. It teaches a little bit about how to interact with objects, how to use spells, how to use items. There's one more thing before he finishes here. I'm gonna tell you that it's very important. Every time you log in the game, you're gonna get mana points, and you can collect that rewards and you can spend those coins. Basically you're gonna be buying runes with that, which is amazing. Basically every day you log in the game, after every server save, you actually get free runes. Those runes you can only use yourself, you cannot share across any other character, and also those runes they expire after 7 days, so be mindful of that. And cool enough, on the 7th day, by the way, to spend the coins, you just say, oh, I want 50 intense healing runes. Yeah, I think I'll get everything intense healing runes, because in the beginning of the game it's very good to have this. So let's do just that. Perfect. And again, let's see if you guys understood that one. I'm gonna do on my F2, I'm gonna select the object, this, and instead of using on the targets, I'm gonna use on myself. But I also had the possibility to use on the cursor. For example, if you're using an AoE rune, You don't want to use it in your cell theoretically, nor the target. You want to use it in a cursor location, so that's pretty cool about Medivia as well. It has this flexibility on the hotkey system. So the guy said, thank you, here's 2k. Wow, so now we're full of money. And then you can just start hunting some monsters. For example, I can go on rats, and if I kill 100 rats, I get 2k. And then I just accept the task, and then I complete the task and automatically get 2k. So the tasks are a great way to start on Medivia, as well as factions. I'm going to be linking again the video here for factions, because it's something that it helps you with progress in the game, and it's something that you're definitely not going to regret, because it gives you a natural progression about the game as well. So it's a pretty fun, at least I enjoy doing the factions. And they also give you some rewards, some EXP, some items. Pretty cool. I think that's about it. So I'm gonna be stopping the video for now, and leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. See you guys in the next one. Cheers.